Beside me, the former Crystal Palace winger Eddie McGoldrick. This is Premier League Live. 5 games left for Liverpool to secure their Champions League place for next season, and 5 points separating them from Brighton and Hove Albion, leading the chasing pack. They can rise as high as 4th with their win today. Crystal Palace have found arguably their most consistent form of the campaign of late though, and will be looking for the perfect preparation for the club's first ever European semi-final on Thursday. We'll have a look at the lineups one more time before kick-off. For Liverpool, it's Woodman in goal, making his first Premier League start for the club. Szoboszlai's at right back, Robertson's at left back with Konate and Van Dijk between them. McAllister joins Jones deeper in midfield. Salah's on the right, Gakpo's on the left, with Wirtz in the 10 behind Isak up top. For Crystal Palace, it's Henderson in goal. The back three is Richards, Lacroix and Canvo. Munoz and Mitchell are the wing backs, with Kamada and Wharton in the middle. Johnson right of centre, Sarr left of centre, and Jean-Philippe Mateta leading the line. Well, Palace pumped Liverpool 3-0 to dump the Reds out the League Cup. Liverpool were then thrashed 4-0 by City in the FA Cup. 4-0 on aggregate. They were brushed aside by Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. So there's only one thing now that can save the Reds season. All the eggs in the Premier League basket, and in front of an expectant Anfield crowd, they eye all 3 points against Crystal Palace. Got to start well today, Eddie.
They have to. It's imperative that they do. Strong side, but I'm just looking at this Palace side. Palace win here today. That's 4 times where they've beaten Liverpool this year in all competitions. Obviously the Community Shield, Carabao Cup, and then 2 league wins. And Sarr has 5 goals in 4 games against this Liverpool team.
Well, Palace in their white away shirts with a red and blue design running down the sleeves and down the centre of their chest. White shorts, white socks, pump the ball long, going from left to right. Liverpool in their traditional home colours of red shirts, red shorts and red socks defend to the right of halfway. Long off the boots of the American Chris Richards. It's met by Curtis Jones, who is playing right back. Szoboszlai steps up into midfield. We wondered which of the two would fill that role after playing there last week in the Merseyside derby. It is Jones again. Daichi Kamada for Crystal Palace, 5 yards shy of the halfway line. Rolls it into the middle of the back line for Maxence Lacroix, and Kamada on the half turn will try and release Mitchell on the left wing. Early space for Tyrick Mitchell. In it goes. Awkward for Konate, toe towards his own goal.
Nervy
behind
start
for a Palace corner.
Yeah, nervy start from the Reds. This is Crystal Palace's Oliver Glasner's strongest team, Matt, and they've started the game well. Canvo's been a revelation. Mark Guéhi's departure has all but been forgotten about, and Palace off to a great start.
So the referee Andy Madley for today points to the corner spot. He's being assisted by Simon Bennett and Craig Taylor, with Paul Tierney, the 4th official, and Neil Davies in the VAR room. Early Palace corner, if you are just joining us, won by Tyrick Mitchell on the left, taken short to Kamada, crossed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Richards leaping for it, looped back forward by Mitchell to the edge of the Liverpool 18-yard area, and fired over the top by Alexander Isak. Salah will go off and running up the right. Gets the better of Mitchell once, but not twice. It's going to be a Palace throw. And Tyrick Mitchell seems to be a defender that really loves the one-on-one against the best wingers in the league.
Yeah, he does. Very underrated and disappointing.
There's a bizarre back heel kick up in the air from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Almost turns into a chance, but it was offside against Brennan Johnson. Just before that, we saw Adam Wharton just gliding between Liverpool players over the halfway line. Wondered whether he'd be fit enough to start today, and even if he was, whether Oliver Glasner would risk him. He has. What do you make of that?
I'm not surprised. No, we need him in there. I'm speaking from a Palace perspective here as well. So, yeah, I think he pulls the strings. He dictates the play. He dominates the possession. Kamada's been great alongside him as well.
Munoz, speaking of players that have been great for Crystal Palace, the Colombian on this right wing, goes into the middle for Chris Richards. Recently named USA Men's Player of the Year by the Federation, Chris Richards, after a stellar 2025 for both club and country. Rolled forward to the left wing. Mitchell's going to go first time down the line, and upended is Brennan Johnson. Liverpool come away with it, no free kick given. First chance for the Reds to get their foot on the ball, and it's at the feet of Cody Gakpo. Laid off to Robertson, early cross is blocked away. Scrapping for the loose ball in midfield is Alexis McAllister, and Van Dijk, the calm presence in the centre circle, plays the Reds forward again. 3 minutes gone if you are just joining us. It is Liverpool versus Crystal Palace on Premier League Live. Matt Drabble and Eddie McGoldrick on the call. Big opportunity today for Liverpool, just to rise to fourth, but have that points buffer as well. Searching ball, looking for Salah, headed away only as far as Curtis Jones, 30 yards from the Palace goal. He's tripped the covering Brennan Johnson, and it's going to be a free kick for Palace.
Yeah, a little better from Liverpool there, but just going back to Tyrick Mitchell, when you mentioned him, Matt, I mean, he's been so consistent over the last 2 seasons, and how he's continually overlooked by, you know, the England setup as a regular left back, even not even to be in that camp. He kind of flirted around it, but he's just dropped out completely. He's been brilliant. Him and Munoz in the flanks have been, with the 3 centre halves, have been the foundation of Palace's success over the last 18 months.
Adam Wharton tries a volleyed pass wide to the right. It just about comes off, and Ismaila Sarr is in behind the Liverpool back line. Mateta waits, so too does Johnson, and neither of the pair make contact. Offside flag has now gone up anyway. But what a chance that was for Crystal Palace. Andy Robertson makes a right old mess of it at left back. Munoz rolls it in behind to Sarr, clearly offside, but the early ball was delightful for either Mateta or Brennan Johnson to tap home from the middle of the penalty area. And okay, it was offside, but one of the two of them should have tapped that home, surely, Eddie?
Yeah, you'd have thought so, but good intent from Palace. That's where they'll look to get behind that left-hand side of Liverpool, with Sarr and Munoz bombing on. Good play from Van Dijk, but just stepped up. Sarr had gone a little bit early, recognised it and just stepped up on him.
He is the scourge of Liverpool, Ismaila Sarr. Eddie mentioned it just before we got underway, but no one in the 2020s has scored more goals against Liverpool for any club anywhere in the world than Ismaila Sarr of Crystal Palace. Salah knows a thing or two about scoring goals. He'll burst one-on-one against JD Canvo, who matches him stride for stride and toes it out behind for a Liverpool corner kick. And what a breakout last few months it has been for JD Canvo of France, the 19-year-old. Had a horrible start to his Palace career, steadied of late, but he's seeded a Liverpool corner here, which will come in from the right flank off the blue boots of Mo Salah. Barely been in the final third of Palace in the opening 6 minutes of this game, but they have a corner kick here. Konate forward, Van Dijk forward, those are the giants that Salah will be aiming for. Instead it's short, back to Salah, changing the angle. Szoboszlai edge of the 18-yard box, blocked by Tyrick Mitchell. Wirtz plucks it out the sky on his toe with his boots on the right touchline, but Munoz tries to help it in field. He's given it straight to Wirtz. Florian Wirtz sees his effort deflected behind for another Liverpool corner.
Yeah, good play from Wirtz. Mistake from Mitchell there, could have cost Palace.
Well, it was Munoz that went out to meet Salah and make the challenge. He kind of just shoveled it in field to Tyrick Mitchell, who wasn't expecting it, and it turned into a through ball for Florian Wirtz. He scuffed his shot goalward from 7 yards, but it was blocked away. Another Liverpool corner. This one goes right in the mixer. Van Dijk's there, loose in front of goal, and Mateta has to hook it towards the halfway line. All sorts of problems caused by that Salah delivery. He might have a third chance here. Teeing up Wirtz, driving into the penalty area, a touch too many, and Palace will break with Daichi Kamada. Already there's an energy and an impetus about this game. Scooped forward by Adam Wharton. Konate on the cover, should be able to deal with this. Makes it a little bit harder than he needed to. And it's going to be a Palace free kick. Salah coming from an offside position.
Yeah, Henderson done really well there, Matt. Great ball in from Salah from that corner. Look at Van Dijk, just waiting there. Can he get there before the goalkeeper? Palace transition into a counter, and I think Liverpool today, in terms of that Mo Salah side, will look to exploit the gaps that Mitchell leaves.
The ball in from Salah from that corner, a goalkeeper's worst nightmare. Smashed hard and flat right towards the near post.
Great ball.
It was almost going directly in. Van Dijk leapt at it anyway and clattered Dean Henderson into his goal post, but he was able to make the save and keep it out. McAllister on it for Liverpool. Here's Florian Wirtz sliding in his Kamada, and away on the left comes Brennan Johnson. How he could do with a goal, but it's taken away off his toe by Alexis McAllister. It's not been a particularly happy season for Brennan Johnson, for Tottenham Hotspur, or Crystal Palace. He's yet to score for Crystal Palace. His last goal was November the 24th against Copenhagen for Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League. He looks a player, when you watch him, very low on confidence.
Yeah, he does. He's not recreated those levels that he showed at Tottenham in his first season. What was it, 19 goals? Yeah, it's been a disappointing start for him.
Liverpool try and get the ball moving on the right with Salah. His first time passing field is cut out, so Crystal Palace have it with Daichi Kamada, just left of the centre circle, gets his head up and slows the game down. Rolled to the left wing for Mitchell, caught under his feet, but he'll keep it moving. Jones blocks his attempted ball in field, and Brennan Johnson scoops it back to Chris Richards. Not entirely sure what to do with this Richards, so volleys it all the way home at the feet of Henderson. Gakpo comes and closes down. Henderson leans back, clears long. Mateta, Sarr, nice football that between the pair. And Wharton has space to start picking some passes. The first goes right to Munoz. Good shape this from Crystal Palace, and in fact it is the away side that have dominated the possession early on.
Yeah, no fear. Stroking it about, Wharton pulling the strings.
And they found Mitchell here in space on the left wing. Good early delivery. Strikes the heels of Kanate. Cannons behind for a Palace corner kick. This game pretty much exclusively being played in and around the two penalty areas. We've seen very little of the ball in the middle of the park. It's making it a very entertaining opening 10 minutes.
It is. Both teams going for it as well. Palace looking very comfortable at the moment. No fear about coming here and winning.
Oliver Glasner in his press conference said it's a long way to go till Thursday. He did not mind playing a strong side. It's going to be a Palace corner kick here from the left, lifted in towards the back of the penalty area. Lacroix up in the air, Richards underneath it, Wharton back in, Mateta waiting for it to drop. It's pinball and head tennis in that 18-yard box. Lacroix emerges, trying to shake off Florian Wirtz on the right wing, the centre-back a long way from home. Cruyff turn around Wirtz. Here's Wharton, delivery's good, Richards rising, and it's off his bouncy hair and over the top into the Kop for a Liverpool goal kick.
Well, that may be that one mistake that we were talking about in terms of Freddie Woodman starting. Great ball in from Wharton, brilliant area, and he's just got to glance that. Comes there, no man's land for the goalkeeper. He's got away with one.
And he's got a good 4 or 5 extra inches on his head to all of those out there. Chris Richards with the haircut of choice, and Palace have won it high here. Rose to meet that header, but sent it spinning over the top of the crossbar. Palace's pressure has immediately won another corner kick. Speaking of hair, Alexis McAllister has let go of most of his. Might ask for a loan from Chris Richards after this game.
Brilliant press from Mateta there.
So, Crystal Palace corner kick from the left. Camvo trots into the 6-yard box. It's going to be an in-swinger, and they're crowding out third choice goalkeeper Freddie Woodman, surely by design. In-swinger driven towards the back of the penalty area. Lacroix again, down toward Mateta. Not cleared by Liverpool yet. Now it's headed forward by Robertson. And McAllister smashes up to the halfway line. Salah was in, had it been missed by Canvo, but he read it every step of the way. And it's at the feet of Chris Richards in the middle of Palace's back line. 12 minutes gone. It is Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 0 here on Premier League Live. Wharton scoops one for Brennan Johnson. He'll get there, but he was offside anyway. It's so fascinating because often when you see a midfielder come through like Adam Wharton, they're tidy and safe, and not to be too critical, but I think of some of Declan Rice's performances this season. Yeah. As Arsenal have seized up, it's a lot of sideways football, it's a lot of backwards football. Adam Wharton gets the ball and he can do the sideways backwards metronomic thing, but he always looks for that heroic through ball as well. And
he's got that in his locker. Wants to play forward, absolute genius of a young footballer, brilliant. Wants to play forward all the time. Like you said, Matt, he can go from side to side and he's not frightened to fail. He'll make a bad pass and he's straight back on it.
It's that time of year we ask this sort of question, but despite his injuries this season, he on the plane for you?
Absolutely. It's got to be. He won't start, but with the heat out there, you know, if England get into some situations where the game's tight, you know, and they need somebody to unlock it with a little pass, little slide, real pass through the middle, he's the one.
Well, Adam Wharton has had a brilliant start to this game, maybe putting himself in Thomas Tuchel's frame of mind for the World Cup in the US, Mexico and Canada this summer. Sprayed forward by McAllister to the left wing, it runs beyond Cody Gakpo, and the Liverpool fans begin their protest. Yellow cards raised by those all around Anfield. Now if you're wondering why they might be doing that, it's because Liverpool have announced a 3-year price increase for season tickets and one-off tickets on Merseyside. This is a protest against the owners. The idea is the yellow card is a warning of further protests if prices keep rising, and the fans trying to make a stand against increasing prices at Anfield. Here is Mateta bursting up the right wing, running with Konate.
No need.
And shoves him straight over, and as you say, a pretty careless one to give away.
Yeah, 30 minutes in and you think actually Palace were the home side. Liverpool very flat, the Kop very flat, not much noise coming from it.
Not been the best start. Freddie Woodman had very little to do though in that Liverpool goal. He is of course starting today. Mamardashvili out, Alisson out, so it's the third choice keeper in. Palace yet to test him. Curtis Jones right wing, 5 yards behind the halfway line. Twists and turns in field. And finds Konate, awaiting news on his contract, whether he'll be staying with Liverpool beyond the summer. Robertson into the feet of McAllister. Gakpo on the left wing, immediately met by the pressure of Richards. So Liverpool go back into the middle with Virgil van Dijk. Scooped forward, long, over the top, searching ball. Isak can latch onto it by the corner flag. Not too much to aim at in the middle, so Gakpo finds it left edge of the penalty area. Drilled towards the 6-yard box. Met by Canvo, seized upon by Konate. First real spell of meaningful Liverpool possession this. Mo Salah, backwards to Jones, 20 yards from goal. Tries to slide it through the thirds and loses possession. Palace free kick.
Brilliant from Palace, just looking at the shape there, Matt. When they haven't got the ball, they drop into a flat back five with their three up top in Brennan Johnson, Mateta and Sarr. And then Kamara and Wharton just sit in there and they deny the space, forcing Liverpool to go long. Brilliantly defensively as a team.
Entertain me for one moment. This Crystal Palace shape, not too dissimilar from what we saw from Ruben Amorim at Man United. How has Glasner been able to make this look so good for a season and a season and 2/3 now, and it looked so bad, this same shape and structure that Ruben Amorim was doing at United? Is it the type of player, the type of personnel?
Well, absolutely, and it's square pegs in square holes. Not like Amorim done at Man United. He was playing people out of position. They've got two fullbacks that want to go forward, which is perfect. Both fullbacks could play in a flat back four, and they've got three solid centre halves, well, four in terms of Guéhi before he departed to City.
As Brennan Johnson races through, takes a nick off Sarr, a shot that was speculative from a long way out, and easily claimed by Woodman. Johnson has taken a bump after having that effort. Just cut and field. Johnson started 30 yards from goal. He's really known for tapping in low cutbacks in at the back post, but that time tried his luck from 25 yards and a daisy cutter, which Woodman could just fall on top of.
I don't know why I don't know if he's come down awkwardly on his shoulder there, but just going back to Palace's shape there, Matt, it's a system that has to be worked on. You just cannot rock up like Liverpool did 3 weeks ago in the Parc des Princes against PSG, the best team in Europe at the moment, and play a five at the back system. It's a system that has to be worked on. You have to do it rigorously 2 or 3 times a week. I played in that system as well when I was at Palace. We worked on that away from home as well. So, I mean, they've got it down to an art.
Such a shame, really, that Oliver Glasner will not get to see the progression of that system. He is off, of course, in the summer. Sideways from McAllister to Curtis Jones, who's playing right back today. Here is Konate. Jones again will open up right-footed. Slides one up to the halfway line where Wirtz is waiting. Palace hold their shape and hold firm, and Liverpool just swing it around the back line to Virgil van Dijk. McAllister dropping between the centre-backs, lofts it wide to the right for Jones, acrobatically keeps that in play, and then gives it straight back to Crystal Palace. Sloppy from Jones. Running forward there was Brennan Johnson again, upended. Wharton takes over, 3 white shirts for company, looks to the left where Tyrant Mitchell was waiting. Couldn't find the required pass. Munoz, meanwhile, off the ball. has elbowed in the face Andy Robertson. Liverpool will come forward regardless with Gakpo. Cross is blocked away by Chris Richards. Surely Munoz is going to get a yellow card here. That was a ludicrous challenge and one he didn't really need to make.
No,
miles away from the ball.
Yeah, he didn't. So that puts someone there on a bit of a tightrope, but better from Liverpool. But you look at them and they just don't feel that they've got that confidence to go really get out this Palace back three.
Daniel Munoz, after Robertson played a give and go with Alexis McAllister, tried to stop Robertson getting it back, and he just ran straight at him. If you're going to do that, you've got to make it subtle. I'm sure that's part of the game, blocking people off, but you can't fix your eyes on them and seek them out like a linebacker in the NFL.
The ref's done well there as well. He's let it go, played the advantage, brought it back.
Well, Liverpool go all the way home to Freddie Woodman. His lime green goalkeeper kit. A very quiet Anfield so far this afternoon. A very little in the way of goalmouth action. That in-swinging corner kick tested Henderson. A couple of chances for Palace that were ruled offside, squared along the face of goal. That about it so far. 19 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 0. The rest of the Premier League also at 0-0. West Ham hosting Everton. Wolves hosting Tottenham Hotspur. A big day at the bottom. We will keep you updated if goals do fly in, both at Molineux and at the London Stadium. Smashed long at the back and out of play, so Palace will have a throw just a few yards shy of the halfway line on the right-hand side.
It's lacking everything at the moment, this Liverpool performance. I thought they were poor and lucky last week at Everton to get the win. They haven't started great today.
Here's Henderson. Clips it forward, 10 yards over the halfway line. Well won by Mateta, and away sprints Sarr, the wrong side of Robertson. Not a great deal to aim at. He does find Brennan Johnson, and the finish is all wrong from Brennan Johnson. He swings his right boot at it, gets underneath the ball and clips it over the crossbar. Mateta does brilliantly initially to win the flick on. That release Sarr at the right. He waited and waited for the pass to develop, picked out the perfect ball to Johnson. You have to hit the target from 12 yards out, right-hand side of the penalty area. He does not. He lifts it over the top.
He's trying to be cute. Brilliant play. Great running off the ball in behind Robertson and Van Dijk from Sarr. That's the biggest threat that he'll give you with his goals. But Brennan Johnson, he's just got to put us through that mat and make the goalkeeper work. But again, brilliant from Palace.
Here comes Tyrick Mitchell. Looking for Mateta again. That could turn into a good ball. Konate stretches to meet it. Second ball won by Sarr and the third by Kamada. Switch with Munoz, the right wing back. Daichi Kamada turns in midfield. Had a very slow start to his Palace career. Japanese international as Wharton just skips by Soberslai. Clips towards Johnson, who's gone down again. Well, it's the third time Brennan Johnson's gone down in this game. And he looks in some discomfort here. Curtis Jones is pleading innocence.
It's a clash of heads. Brilliant from Wharton again. Nah, not a lot in that. Maybe a slight elbow. But the biggest problem Liverpool are having at the moment with this system is that Palace's front three, their two wide players in Brennan Johnson and Sarr are playing as inside forwards, Matt. Okay, against the back four. Okay, and then the two fullbacks in Mitchell and Munoz are pushing right on. Okay, and they don't know what to do. They're really, really struggling with it.
Brennan Johnson did take a fair old whack. Our super slow-mo replay showed us it was perhaps worse than I initially thought. He's back onto his feet now, and Crystal Palace have been given a free kick. Left of centre, about 40 yards from goal all told. But a nice position to try and deliver into a increasingly crowded penalty area as more Palace defenders trot forward. Adam Wharton is going to take it. Slightly closer than initially perceived, maybe 36, 37 yards out. What can Wharton conjure from here? Being made to wait, goes sideways, changes the angle to Johnson, lifted up, Chris Richards is jumping, away by McAllister. Munoz gets his touch wrong, Liverpool will break with Florian Wirtz, racing over halfway, goes Wirtz, Salah in support, two more red shirts for company, but it's Mo Salah breaking away for Liverpool. The challenge from Brennan Johnson, and the decision is given as a penalty initially. Johnson adamant that he has not made contact with Mo Salah, but a very bad 23 minutes for Brennan Johnson could be about to get a lot worse.
Yeah, I think this could be overruled. Salah's gone down too late. He's gone down too late. I was looking at Johnson thinking, do not slide in now. Is it maybe just outside the box?
Well, Salah's touch was heavy. I'm not sure he was catching up to it, or that Brennan Johnson really needs to make that tackle.
Doesn't touch him either.
He slides in. Mo Salah rides the challenge. I'm not sure there's any contact.
I think this will get overruled, Matt.
But I wonder whether they'll say, regardless of the contact, it is the nature of another player sliding in so forcefully that's brought Salah down.
Does he touch the ball either as well, look?
There's quite a lot to unpack with what initially seemed a fairly simple decision. Mo Salah's breaking away over the halfway line, left of centre. He's at full tilt, full speed, afterburners on. Brennan Johnson sprinting from the middle of the pitch to go meet him. The two collide. Firstly, we've got to decide whether it's in or out the area, then whether there's contact, then whether Brennan Johnson touched the ball. It looks as though the decision has been made by Andy Madley, and we can now hear from the referee over what his final say is.
There's a couple of issues in there as well.
He's gone to the monitor first. I don't think Brennan Johnson makes much contact with Mo Salah, but that might not matter if the momentum was enough to take him over anyway. Then we've got to work out whether he touches the ball.
Which I think he does, and was the challenge made outside the box?
The challenge is right on the line, which is potentially in. The other factor whether they'll consider this is I don't think Mo Salah is ever catching up to that touch. He has taken a very heavy touch. I don't think there's a chance on, so if it is given as a pen, I don't think it should be a red card either.
And he actually kicks the ball away there, Salah, as it just bounces up off. There you go.
And I think the fact that it skips up indicates that Brennan Johnson has got a touch there, which has carried it onto Salah's left leg. But let's pass over to the matchday referee.
Crystal Palace number 11 gets a touch on the ball.
Yes.
My final decision is a drop ball to the goalkeeper, no penalty.
So Andy Madley says no penalty. Eddie McGoldrick with the best eyes in Anfield. You spotted that first, you spotted the touch, you spotted the lack of contact. Justice done. VAR doing its job.
And that would have been an injustice, Matt, like you said there. VAR has done his job. Well done, Andy Madley. Would have been totally against the run of play and something Crystal Palace certainly didn't deserve.
Well, you have to say that's a brilliant bit of officiating all round for Andy Madley to take his time to look at the monitor, to assess that there was a touch. That is what VAR is here for. We couldn't see it in real time. In real time, it looked almost cert. And the force with which they collided, that it would be a penalty. The slow-mo replay unpacked it in far greater detail, and the decision is a drop ball at the edge of Palace's 18-yard box. Sprayed forward long towards Mateta. Headed away to Andy Robertson, who clears up the line. Won by Wharton. McAllister takes over in a left-back position. And it's going to be a Liverpool free kick.
Yeah, the desperation of Salah there as well, Matt. I think it was poor. It's a poor decision. Doesn't look great on him.
So, Freddie Woodman waiting to distribute this one next. He's going to have to do it another time because it was all taken too quickly for Andy Madley's liking. 27 minutes gone. A couple of big talking points thus far. The main one, that Liverpool penalty, which Anfield is still grumbling about, but the correct decision. I'm sure they'll realise that when they get home this evening, these Liverpool fans. Robertson bursting over the halfway line left wing in front of Oliver Glasner, the Palace manager. Wirtz goes first time back to Szoboszlai. Van Dijk across to Konate, and a very poor opening half hour for a Liverpool team with a clear opportunity today. That has been the storyline building up to this game. They can all but secure the Champions League. It would take a miracle for them if they won today to lose it from there. Haven't looked like a team that have that at stake.
Can I ask you, Matt, will the top 5 automatically qualify, or does 5th place have to go into a playoff?
It's a top 5 automatic qualification. It could even be 6th this season, Eddie, if Aston Villa finish 5th and win the Europa League. There'll be 6 Premier League teams in the Champions League, so that would seem incredible, really. But 5 are confirmed.
Because I always remember it would be the top 4 going back 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then if you finish 4th, you have to go through that qualifying game to get into.
I think it is 5 as stands with the new league format, but I can check that for you. Konate backwards to Freddie Woodman. Game's slowed down a lot since that chance for Mo Salah. Liverpool content maybe with just keeping the ball for a spell, taking the sting out of things. Not going to do it like that. Woodman clears it straight to Crystal Palace and Daichi Kamada. Across the back line, Maxence Lacroix. A few clubs eyeing him up as summer approaches with Glasner off. Dean Henderson scoops long to the left wing. Mitchell lets it bounce and it's all the way out of play for a Liverpool throw 5 yards over the halfway line on the right. I've taken it quickly. Elsewhere in the Premier League, still West Ham 0, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Tottenham 0. Earlier in the day, it was Fulham 1, Aston Villa 0. Another result going Liverpool's way. Woodman looks long, clipped out to the left wing, headed on by Gakpo. Wirtz might be first to it, Isak's running for it, but there is Maxence Lacroix to scoop it away, and he's been a great season for the second season in a row, really, brilliant. For the Frenchman. Earned his first ever France call-up. Some feel that was long overdue. He's athletic, he's quick, he's strong, but one thing he's really worked on, he always had a problem in the Bundesliga with red cards. He seems to have worked on his temperament a lot. Yeah,
very much so, and he's an old-fashioned defender. He's comfortable in possession, but he will take no chances.
Salah, right wing, up against the man in question, Maxence Lacroix, goes round him with ease and bursts up to the byline, but Lacroix recovers and stabs from behind with a well-timed tackle. It's going to be a Liverpool corner kick on that right wing, soaking in the sunshine here on the Mersey. Mo Salah, as he sets the ball down, the fans behind him gather to shield their eyes collectively from the sun. And Dean Henderson will have to bounce on his goal line and come up with something here again. The last corner kick delivery from Liverpool went right in on the near post on Henderson's hands. Will they try the same thing this time around? In from Salah, similar area, near post it goes, up in the air from Munoz, back in from Florian Wirtz, but it will trickle behind for a Liverpool goal kick.
Yeah, dealt with that one better. Just going back to Maxime Lacroix, you look at him, Richards, it's a little bit of a concern for me at this moment in time with Glasner leaving in the summer. Palace haven't come out like Bournemouth have done. They've reacted really quickly to the news that Areola's going. They haven't brought somebody in, and there's a lot of suitors for 3 or 4 of those Palace players, Adam Wharton being one, Sarr being the other, Richards, Lacroix. So it's a worrying time if you're a Palace fan.
It is indeed, and we've seen it many times in the Premier League, a club going from remarkable highs to devastating lows. Portsmouth won the FA Cup in 2008, ended up in League Two just a matter of years later. It can happen very quickly in the top flight. Southampton, similar struggles, from being the next big thing with Pochettino to falling down to the Championship. Here is Szoboszlai turning away out to the right-hand side for Curtis Jones. Salah, Jones on the overlap, at the byline. What can he come up with here? Back to Salah, first time volley. Sends it over the top with the inside of his left boot. A half chance for Mo Salah. Had to take it quickly after Curtis Jones cut back, deflected away to him. 10 yards from goal, ran onto it, the Egyptian. Sat up nicely to be hit, but had to take it quickly and lifts it over.
Yeah, better from Liverpool, Matt. First real soiree in behind. Tyrick Mitchell there, great overload from Curtis Jones. Not a great pullback. Salah coming in on the finish, well over, but better from Liverpool.
There's a very early yellow card for time wasting against Dean Henderson. So the first booking of the day goes the way of the Palace keeper. Long over the top towards Ismail Assar. He's going to run past Andy Robertson. Brilliant first touch by Sarr. Munoz, Sarr. In the way was Gakpo. Wirtz spins on it on halfway. McAllister to Szoboszlai and back to Konate. Need to see just a little bit more from Liverpool in possession, but Palace have faded too as this half has wore on. Salah trying to sneak round the outside of Canvo, and what a brilliant bit of defending that is from JD Canvo, and you can see what it means to him as a young player. That is a standout Premier League legend you're up 1-on-1 against there, and Canvo has matched him stride for stride and seen him off the ball.
Absolutely brilliant. If you go back to, I think, probably one of his first starts away to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, Matt, and they played him in a right back position as a wing back, and he had an absolute awful game, got hooked at half-time, I think. The difference now, stepped into Guihi's shoes, been absolutely brilliant.
Well, for the second time today, Adam Wharton has absolutely skinned Dominic Szoboszlai in the middle of the park and played it left to Mitchell. Good challenge made by Jones. Mitchell gets back to his feet. Crossed in by Daichi Kamada, Mateta waiting. Headed away by Liverpool, misjudged by Canvo, and Wirtz will lead the counter-attack, and here come the Reds with Mo Salah. But Canvo there recovers again to steal it away from Mo Salah. And just rolls it out for a throw.
Great recovery from the 19-year-old.
Salah on it, backwards toward the halfway line. Curtis Jones. Liverpool increasing their hold of possession and perhaps control, but still yet to really test Dean Henderson. Virgil van Dijk playing that quarterback role, looking to spray passes. Finds the feet of Cody Gakpo. Barely said Cody Gakpo's name. I can't really remember him or Isak touching the ball yet today.
Just going to say that, Matt. Isak's hardly touched the ball.
So different from the Isak we saw at Newcastle, injury or not. Looks a shadow of that player. Gakpo lets it run cleverly. Left of centre is Andy Robertson. What a lovely ball that is. Dragged along the ground to Szoboszlai, who was breaking into the penalty area. Lovely reverse pass from Andy Robertson, cleared away by Palace. Here is Alexis McAllister cutting in from the left wing. Dead centre is Konate. Cries of shoot from the Liverpool fans. It's about 40 yards from goal. So he just goes sideways to Curtis Jones. Konate tries the clever swivel on it and gets away with it.
Give him a new contract. Wow. I can't work out what style of play they're trying to play at the moment, Liverpool.
Salah is going to run at Canvo, and for a third time Canvo answers the call but stumbles. Salah back on it, chipped into Isak. Richards got in the way with his head. McAllister from range, and Alexander Isak! It's bounced in past Dean Henderson. Crystal Palace desperately want the flag, but a miss-hit shot from McAllister bounced up for Alexander Isak to volley into the turf and over the top of Dean Henderson. It won't be his prettiest goal, but for Alexander Isak, it's a first since the 20th of December, and one that will mean a great deal.
Well, certainly for Isak as well. Get him off the mark, but I'm flabbergasted, literally flabbergasted by that goal and how it's come about. Didn't look in any danger. Hint of offside. We'll have to see the replay, Matt. Campbell recovers well and then falls over. Richards gets ahead. No, he's on. Campbell's played him onside, and he scuffs it into the ground and beats Henderson.
Well, Mo Salah ran one-on-one with Canvo up the right-hand side. Twice Canvo had embarrassed Salah, but this time Salah sticks in the shoulder and drops him to the turf. Cuts back to Alexis McAllister. A scuffed shot from 20 yards. Hits the heel of Alexander Isak, pops up in front of the Swede. Then all he has to do is volley it on target. He almost gets it wrong. He scuffs it into the ground about a yard away from him, but the spin on the ball allowed it to carry over the already committed Dean Henderson and drop into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal from the middle of the penalty area. It's Liverpool 1, Palace 0. The goal is confirmed by the VAR as onside. That was the cheer you just heard. And Alexander Isak has an all-important goal in his season. Took him a long time to register his first goal for Liverpool in the Premier League. It was the 20th of November when he notched against West Ham. His last, the 20th of December against Tottenham. And he has another here today against Palace.
Curse of the commentator this weekend, you and I, Matt. Just saying how he hadn't touched the ball, hadn't been in the game.
Salah.
Bang, 1-0.
Swings in again towards Wirtz, and Mo Salah will be delighted with the way that came about, because Canvo had made him look rather silly the last two times he tried to take him on. And Canvo again had recovered, and Salah just charged him to the ground. Crystal Palace appealing for a free kick, but they did not get. Here it's Liverpool 1, Palace 0. Elsewhere, West Ham 0, Everton 0. Wolves 0, Tottenham 0. You thought those games might be cagey with how much was riding on them. So it is proving. 8 minutes to go till half-time.
Do his confidence the world of good, because he has been non-existent.
Throwing back to Maxence Lacroix. Chris Richards on it at the edge of his 6-yard box. Canvo will also be frustrated in the way in which he played Isak onside, but it's hard to get back onside if you're down on your back.
Yeah, and I think he was still recovering. He was a little bit. He'd lost his bearings a little bit down that sort of left back position through Salah's pace.
Here's Isak again, looking for Gakpo, given away carelessly to Richards. Wharton in midfield. Kamada to his left. 10-yard pass brings Kamada over the halfway line. Mitchell back to Kamada.
They've been the better team, Palace, Matt, but without really threatening Freddie Woodman in goal.
Mitchell tries to take on Curtis Jones, who's attempting to see it out at the byline and does so successfully. It's going to be a Liverpool goal kick, and you mentioned Palace arguably being the better team, and they were for the first 20 minutes. They sort of took their foot off the gas, and criminally, we spoke on air and off air about you've got a goalkeeper there, potentially low on confidence, you have to test him, you have to get shots off. I don't think they've had a shot.
No, and that'll be the biggest disappointment for Oliver Glasner at half-time. Yeah, just watching the goal again. Terrible bounce to beat Henderson there.
And from Palace towards Jean-Philippe Mateta, and Woodman has to come out and smother. Well, that came from absolutely nowhere. Palace on the left wing managed to clip it in towards Jean-Philippe Mateta. Liverpool getting in a muddle, playing out from the back due to Palace's pressure. Jones, the guilty party on 2 occasions, and really Mateta should he be doing more there?
He's got to do better. I don't know whether he's got to go low. He's got to keep it low there. He's just trying to dig Freddie Woodman from 6 yards.
Well, we said Woodman hadn't been tested. Came out, made himself big there at the edge of the 6-yard box. Really called into action. Brennan Johnson delivers a signal from the left for this Palace corner. Near post towards Sarr. Up in the air for Wharton. He goes down with a big old charge through his back.
There's contact there.
Kamada back into Mateta. Woodman saves brilliantly, and the loose ball is dealt with by Konate.
What a save from the young man.
Well, all the stories about Freddie Woodman, that was a brilliant save, and it might spring Liverpool the other way with Robertson into the penalty area and into the corner from back to front. Andy Robertson tucks it home from the edge of the 18-yard box to put Liverpool 2 to the goods against Crystal Palace. A 3rd goal of the season for Andy Robertson in this farewell campaign. And Liverpool went from a brilliant save at one end in 3 passes to tucking it home at the other.
Well, I think it's the save that's inspired them. Brilliant from the young goalkeeper. First time he's really been called in to make a proper save. Mateta's got to score. He's got to score, but then the transition and the counter. Brilliant. More like the Liverpool that we're used to seeing. 2 passes. Robertson carries on his run, goes through. Great finish. Great finish.
A striker's finish from Andy Robertson after 3 passes. It was Konate to Wirtz, Wirtz to Jones, and Jones with an incisive through ball to Andy Robertson. The Scotsman was running at full speed, left of centre. He drove to the edge of the penalty area and then struck it into the bottom corner. Left-footed, beautiful contact, rolled past the diver Dean Henderson. It is as close to the post as you can get without hitting it. Nestles in the side netting, and Liverpool 2 goals to the goods. And Crystal Palace were wondering where that all came from, where it all went so wrong.
Crazy. What a game this is, this football.
And what a moment that is for Andy Robertson. He might not get another chance to score in his Liverpool career. He's not often a goal scorer. That could be his final Liverpool goal, the Scotsman, and it will be a pretty special one for him to remember. Appearance number 376 for Liverpool today, and a well-taken finish to mark it. Daichi Kamada over the top, Mateta off and running. Woodman comes out and scoops up, falls on top of it. 42 minutes on the clock. Liverpool looking at taking a healthy lead into the break and looking at the Premier League table and going, well, after this season of seasons, we haven't done very well. We're up in 4th and level on points with Manchester United ahead of us. Florian Wirtz, Alexis McAllister, sideways to Jones. And Jones at right back. It was his pass that released Robertson. At the feet now of Virgil van Dijk, and they can really play the game at their pace. That's the real problem with going 2 down.
And that's what they're going to do. Shame for Palace, because it's not a reflection on the proceedings of the first half and the dominance that they had without really looking like scoring. But Again, Liverpool getting away with one. Just shows that the levels, but they've done enough now. Shows you how a game can change.
Here's Jones up the right to Soberslai. Backwards to Konate, and a lot of Palace's game is built on that high press, high energy style. If Liverpool don't give them the chance to do that, to counter them, it's going to be very difficult for Ollie Glasner's team to find a way back into this game. Long from Woodman, looking for Cody Gakpo. Chris Richards takes charge right of centre. Forward for Munoz. Wharton's given it away this time to Alexis McAllister. Van Dijk across to Curtis Jones. Will have a healthy chunk of added time, you imagine, due to that penalty incident. Woodman's distribution lets him down again. Munoz volleys forward. Sarr to Wharton. Wharton looking to lift it over the top from the middle of the park, but McAllister got in the way. Very casual at times, Crystal Palace in possession over the last 15 or 20 minutes. Here's Florian Wirtz. Acres of space for Curtis Jones. Rolled into Salah, up against Canvo. And Canvo looks forward to Brennan Johnson. Wharton again. Kamada. Gakpo nibbling at his heels and bringing him down. It's going to be a Palace free kick on halfway. Gakpo not too happy. Palace will keep it moving with Tyrick Mitchell. Just feel like Palace have looked better in this first half when they've played quickly. When they do this, I don't really feel like they're much to worry about for Liverpool.
No, and they're playing into Liverpool's hands now.
It's a better ball to Tyrick Mitchell though, by the corner flag, left wing. It's going to cross in, Sarr's waiting, and Konate's big header steers it over the top for a Palace corner kick on the left.
Good play from Mitchell, but again, I'm looking at Mateta's movement. He's either got to get across Konate, that's outside the near post, or he's got to spin out behind Van Dijk to the far post. He's doing one or the other.
Palace's fifth corner kick already. We're only in the first half. They have been winning plenty of these, but Mitchell's final ball has more often than not led to a corner than a chance. In from Brennan Johnson, long and looping this time. Maxence Lacroix heads down, blocked by Woodman. Brilliant save. Munoz on the follow-up. That one goes over. And Liverpool survive. Well, it was a different sort of delivery. It was underneath the ball from Brennan Johnson. It was looping towards the back post. Lacroix had an age to measure that header. He watched it onto his forehead, headed down into the turf. It was destined for the back of the net. And Woodman saved to his left well initially. The follow-up by Munoz over the top.
Good save.
Another good save from Freddie Woodman.
Certainly is. Oliver Glasner, I'm not quite sure will know what to say at half-time. He'll be disappointed in his team's last probably 5-10 minutes. Apart from, the goal, Robertson's goal was the first real intent and energy and pace that Liverpool played with. He'll be scratching his head.
Forward by Munoz. Here is Sarr, the wrong side of McAllister. Has to bring him down, McAllister, and should be going into the book there with Palace springing forwards, you'd imagine, but no. Andy Madley says there was enough red shirts back to not justify yellow cards, and you can see what Adam Wharton thinks of that. And your face next to me, Eddie, you're doing a very good job of keeping quiet. Says you agree.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm just frustrated at the moment. Really am frustrated with how this half has gone for Palace.
There's still time, of course, plenty of it. 4 minutes added time. We're into the second of those now here on Premier League Live. Matt Travel, Eddie McGoldrick. Bring you analysis of all the games at half-time when we break here. Hopeful ball towards Mateta. One man that will be very happy after 45 is Freddie Woodman. 2 big saves to keep his side in it. Very similar saves, dropping to his left low to keep it out. Yeah,
the first one's instinctive. He's done brilliant, but Mateta's got to do better there. Second one, he's got to cross his goal and parried it out from Lacroix's header. Could be 2-0 here. Haven't taken their chances, but when called upon, he's responded, the young man, the young goalkeeper.
So it's going to be Liverpool to get us back underway. Andy Robertson, who scored the goal earlier, just pondering what to do next with it. But we've
Great finish.
seen that finish, and what a finish it was from Robertson again on our monitors. Sprayed long by Dean Henderson. Mateta in the centre circle, drops to Kamada. What a lovely touch that is by Brennan Johnson to take it around his man and run at Van Dijk. Brennan Johnson on the left, Van Dijk in the way, and it bounces behind for a Palace corner kick. He just doesn't have that conviction, Brennan Johnson.
Just gonna say
it
that,
was
Matt.
flicked on by Mateta.
Yeah.
He took a wonderful touch to release himself. And then as a striker, you surely, Eddie, you were a winger, you go at the defender, you get your shot off.
And not on the strongest side either. And Van Dijk leads him where he wants him to go. Brennan Johnson doesn't realise that. He's got to check back outside him, driving towards the penalty spot to get his shot off. Disappointing.
Well, likely the last action of this first half is another Palace corner. In from Johnson, doesn't meet the first man, which was Robertson, steering it away at the near post. Away to Kamada, recycled back to halfway with Tyrick Mitchell, evades the pressure of Isak and goes all the way home to Dean Henderson. There's really a matter of seconds left. Surprising that Palace have shown the lack of urgency here, just to roll it back to their goalkeeper. Waiting for Andy Madley's whistle. Lacroix now at the feet of JD Canvo, and Andy Madley brings the first half to a close. Crystal Palace flew out the blocks and were arguably the better of the two sides, but Liverpool took the lead, first rather fortuitously through Alexander Isak, who hammered it into the ground and over Henderson, and then Andy Robertson added a second. Analysis of this game plus a look around the league when we come back. Stay tuned for that. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Yeah.
Even more so, they've got a line to walk now, 2-0 down, the game seemingly beyond them. Are they going to fight tooth and nail to get back into it, or are some of those players going to start thinking of Poland on Thursday?
Well, I don't think Oliver Glasner's that type of coach that he's going to let that happen. From speaking to people like Mark Bright within the club, he expects that energy and that commitment there all the time, regardless of their next game. So I think what will happen is if they concede again, you will look at from 60-minute onwards that those key players in his team will start to be substituted.
Well, one has been substituted already, almost prophetic there, Eddie McGoldrick. Tyrick Mitchell is coming off and Borna Sosa is coming on for Crystal Palace. So Borna Sosa on, Tyrick Mitchell off. Second half to get underway with Liverpool in their red shirts with white stripes down the sleeve. Red shorts and red socks going from my left to my right. Crystal Palace in white shirts with blue and red detailing, defending to the right of halfway. And we are underway in this second half. Liverpool with the commanding 2-0 lead. Backwards it goes to Freddie Woodman, about as perfect a first half as you could have hoped for him. Leans back, clips it long towards the head of Gakpo, brought down by Florian Wirtz left of centre. Here's Alexis McAllister, thought about the switch and then checks back to the left wing where Gakpo is waiting. Gakpo trying to lose the attentions of Sarr. Virgil van Dijk 5 over halfway. We'll remind you of the lineups in full when we get the chance, but right now Liverpool looking poised perhaps to create something up the right with Curtis Jones. Round Borna Sosa into Salah. What did you make of Mo Salah's first half? Because strangely, of all the negativity around his season, the last 3 or 4 games he's really picked it up, Mo Salah.
Yeah, his levels they have gone up, Matt, but again I don't think he's the player he was. He's lost a couple of yards of pace. You know, we've seen Campbell catch him. He gave Campbell 4 or 5 yards and he caught him. So Tyrick Mitchell is quick, but yeah, he's nowhere near the levels, and I think they've been very fortuitous in this first half.
I think the one thing you're hoping for Mo Salah is he can leave on good terms after the storm that was rumbling around December and January. You'd want a player of that quality who has been such a servant to this club to leave with the fans with fond memories rather than memories of the angst of midway through this season.
Yeah, and I get that, but have his performances warranted him being in this team now as well? We've got a young kid on the bench in Ngannou that is going to be a player. Throw him in, give him that opportunity. There's Mo Salah now, and I actually think Arne Slot has gone back on his conviction that he took, his stance that he took over that, you know, that Leeds game and the fallout they had after that, you know, and he's gone back on that, and he's proved a little bit weak.
Well, here comes Camvo. No accusations of him being weak in this game as he rolls it forward to Mateta up against Virgil van Dijk. Flag staying down. Jean-Philippe Mateta takes Van Dijk to the byline. Konate comes across in support all the way to the corner flag. Mateta's been chased away from the penalty area and did the best he could at the end and win Palace a throw.
So yeah, he's laboured today, Mateta. Not really got the service, had that half chance in the first half where he's tried to go over Freddie Woodman instead of below him.
So Chris Richards is going to take, he does possess a long throw, Chris Richards, the American, has the ability to properly launch one into the penalty area. We might see that here as he leans back into the advertising hoardings in front of those Liverpool fans. Hurls it into the 6-yard box, plenty of distance on it. Van Dijk though, so strong in the air, steers it away, and Richards will have another go at it. We'll get the chance to remind you of the lineups. Liverpool, it's Woodman, Jones, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson at the back. Szoboszlai and McAllister in midfield. Salah and Gakpo either side of Wirtz with Isak up top. Richards for Palace still waiting to send this one in. He won't get the chance to because Mateta is picking a fight with Isak in the 6-yard box. For Crystal Palace, it's Henderson in goal. Back three is Richards, Lacroix and Canvo. Munoz is the right wing back. At left wing back, Mitchell has been replaced by Borna Sosa. Kamada and Wharton remain in midfield with Sarr and Johnson playing off Mateta. So after a long wait, this will eventually come in from the left by the corner flag off the hands of Richards. Edge of the 6-yard box it goes. Jones can head it away. Chris Richards again, back to the halfway line. Munoz goes all the way home to Dean Henderson. A few times Palace have done that, have gone backwards to gain a bit of control in a game which they are ultimately chasing. Henderson forward, Van Dijk away, Szoboszlai helps it on. Kamada with a brilliant tackle, Wharton takes over, but it's a lax pass from Adam Wharton. Don't say that often. Here's Curtis Jones. In field to Mo Salah, wide to the right. Curtis Jones swung towards the back post. Richards heads away, and Mitchell plays it off Jones for a goal kick to Crystal Palace. Playing it off his man to recover, and it will be a goal kick to the Eagles.
Good ball in from Curtis Jones. A little bit sloppy from Palace there as well. Adam Wharton's just lost his way a little bit here, Matt. He's placed a couple of passes just before half-time. Needs to get back on that.
It's 5 minutes into the second half. It is Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0. We have word there may have been a goal over at the London Stadium, a big one at the bottom. We'll bring you news of it when we get the chance here on Premier League Live, but any goal in either of those games will obviously have enormous ramifications for the relegation race. Here's Munoz, right wing, early delivery is blocked by the back of Cody Gakpo. It's all huff and puff for Crystal Palace, but they are lacking distinct quality in and around the penalty area.
And there's a real lack of energy in this Palace side now. Levels have certainly dropped.
Liverpool will be fine with that, but the game, the second half at least, being played virtually at a walking pace. Adam Wharton starts to stroll into Liverpool territory, right of centre, crosses early, Borna Sosa can bring it down. It's Borna Sosa for Crystal Palace, and he gets it wrong all the time in the world to bring that down on the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's a gorgeous ball by Adam Wharton into him, left alone by Curtis Jones. He didn't know whether to cross or shoot. In the end, he doesn't do either.
Poor finish, doesn't get it out of his feet, Matt. Got to get it out of his feet. Cuts across it. Yeah, poor finish, great ball from Wharton. That's better.
So it's long from Freddie Woodman up towards Lacroix, who volleys away. Borna Sosa could really have done with that find at the back of the net. 28-year-old Croatian signed from Ajax, yet to score for Crystal Palace, just hasn't really found his feet in this Eagles side. Thrown into Florian Wirtz by Andy Robertson. Get another chance to throw in field. This time McAllister brings it down. Robertson on the left, midway inside Palace territory. Still, the Reds lead 2-0. Alexis McAllister. Konate. Fizzed up the right wing. Salah has a run on Canvo. Mo Salah, right flank. Twists inside of Canvo, but Sosa helps out his centre-back brilliantly and hooks it away to Mateta, who will try and hold it up, and does hold it up. Sarr only had to break past Curtis Jones and Palace were in, but Jones takes it off his toes.
Yeah, good recovery from Curtis Jones. Quick turn of pace from Salah. I just can't work this Liverpool team. I'm struggling with their identity at the moment. They're neither one or the other. They're not the rock and roll footballer Klopp. He wants to play a little bit more possession based on a slot, but there's no energy or pace in getting that ball forward for them, really.
Here is Szoboszlai to the feet of Alexander Isak. Such a quiet first half for Isak, but he still had a goal. There was a fascinating article this week written about how he just looks a completely different player. The way he's being used is different. Do you remember that Newcastle game where he picked it up on the left wing, skinned about 4 people alive and slid it back across the face of goal? Even when he was fully healthy, we didn't see a smidgen of that in a Liverpool shirt.
I mean, back then it was the confidence. I remember that goal he scored against Liverpool at St James's Park, where 25 yards and just right foot rocket top corner, and it's natural that injury, but he just, even before that injury at Tottenham, he didn't look fit.
Chris Richards heads away into midfield. Kamada looks for Wharton, gives it away to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, acres of space to shoot if he so fancies, but did not. Tried to cut it back to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Kamada was there to cut it out. Kamada looking over the top, good ball to Sarr. What can he make of it? Senegalese winger forced wide by a heavy touch, boots on the left touchline. 2 red shirts for company, so it's infield to Brennan Johnson, and Johnson's pass back to Borna Sosa, not good enough. Liverpool will switch it out to Cody Gakpo, who could swivel on halfway. Through it goes to Alexander Isak, bursting away. It hits his shins and rolls out of play. There's the lack of confidence, and it's been given as a Liverpool corner kick. That gives us a chance to go across to the London Stadium, where there's been a huge goal in the relegation fight.
He's back up on his feet, and West Ham take this corner. Sent in and headed in by Thomas Souček. What a goal for West Ham! Lift off at the London Stadium. The Hammers strike first, and it's Thomas Souček with a bullet header.
Thomas Souček for West Ham United, so often the man to score the big goal on the big occasion. Spinning away in celebration as West Ham take the lead at home. That is massive for the Hammers. It's devastating for Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool corner, right wing, looking for the edge of the 6-yard box. Missed by both Wharton and Richards. Back in by Robertson from the left. Munoz lets it run to Mo Salah. Everyone's missing this loose ball at the moment. It's like the wacky races out there.
Yeah,
the way everyone's not been able to get contact on that. Salah again, right wing, looking for the feet of Isak. Mateta clears forward. And this strange second half pattern continues of both a lack of energy and a lack of quality, really.
Yeah, from both sides. I mean, Liverpool, especially in that first half, and it's just a game now for them. They can play it out. They're 2-0, take no chances. But again, disappointment in Liverpool. Been very, very lucky to be 2-0.
Well, that's a through ball from Wirtz, which finds Mo Salah. And would you believe it, he kicks his own standing leg and falls over as well. So it continues. Here's Brennan Johnson running past Konate, though, into the penalty area. Johnson tried to cut back to Sarr, and it was behind Ismail Assar. The cut back from Brennan Johnson. Well, it's the best we've seen from the Welshman all afternoon long. He completely burnt Ibrahima Konate at a full sprint, drove into the penalty area, got to the edge of the 6-yard box and unselfishly looked for Sarr. Should he have shot himself, Eddie?
Yeah, he should have done that. That's the Brennan Johnson we've seen at Tottenham. And the first time we've seen it today, but he's got to be selfish. That lack of confidence has made him pass it across the goal.
Here's Salah, back heel to Szoboszlai, looking for the return. Theatrically dove under contact from Adam Wharton. And nothing doing for the referee. I think that should be a yellow card for Mo Salah personally, for the way that he's thrown himself to the ground. Meanwhile, Jones and Wharton have collided left of centre.
And it's not the first time today that matters. Simulation in the first half for the penalty decision as well.
Well, there's two incidents there. The first is a cut back to Mo Salah after a back heel from Szoboszlai, and him and Wharton have sort of just naturally come together, but Salah has arched his back, flailed his arms and dropped to the turf, looking for a penalty. And credit Andy Madley, who was not fazed whatsoever. Then it's Jones and Wharton that have collided on the halfway line. Salah's now down, waiting to receive treatment. We brought you news of that West Ham goal. If you want to know what that's done to the Premier League table, as things stand, Palace would have 4 points on Tottenham Hotspur, who sit in 18th on 32, West Ham on 36, Forest on 39, Leeds on 40. I mean, it would be
huge goal,
massive for both goal. West Ham and Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I called it. I couldn't see Tottenham scoring an open play today. I know it was a much improved performance last week at home at Brighton, but he certainly has not had that bounce as De Zerbi with these players, and the buck really has got to stop with them.
So Liverpool are preparing a few substitutions. Going to have a look at this Salah incident with Wharton.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, he's holding his hamstring, but the initial contact was that Wharton had fouled him, I think.
Well, Salah down, and applauds all 4 sides of Anfield, soaking up every second Salah as he clutches his leg. There's a hint here that he thinks this injury might be bad enough that this could be his last home game, because he's very emotional and he's taking the time to walk slowly off the pitch, spin, applaud all 4 sides of the stadium. I think Salah thinks that he's really tweaked something here and this might be it.
Looks like it. Yeah, he's holding the back of that left hamstring.
So Mo Salah serenaded as he comes off. Frimpong replaces him. We're also going to see Jeremy Pino for Brennan Johnson. So
Brennan Johnson put out of his misery.
Frimpong for Salah, Johnson for Pino. And funnily enough, that came just after Johnson's best moment of the game, where he dribbled past Canate but couldn't find the end product. An hour gone on this one. If you are just joining us, Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0. Those goals feel a long time ago, scored by Isak and Robertson to take us to this point.
It's a great opportunity for Palace as well today, Matt. So I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed in terms of certainly that first 35 minutes where they controlled the possession without really hurting Liverpool, but you know, they've rested on their laurels, they've set back. Liverpool, albeit lucky to be 2-0 ahead with a fortuitous first goal. Second one for me, again, like I said in the break, Wharton I felt was fouled. But yeah, they've not really pushed on Palace, and they'll be disappointed, Glasner, in terms of their goal threat.
Well, Pino commits a foul on Frimpong, fresh off the bench, trying to lead a counter for Liverpool. We spoke about potential problems for Tottenham Hotspur, who lost Dominic Solanke in the first half. We have a reporter at the Molineux, and he's just given us word that Xavi Simons is down with injury as well, and doesn't look like he'll be able to continue, so that would be really problematic for Spurs and the context of their fight for survival. Here is Canate on the ball for Liverpool, chipped forward over the halfway line, nodded on brilliantly by Isak to Frimpong, but Lacroix can steal it away. Curtis Jones right wing, back to Frimpong, into Wirtz, looking for Frimpong again. Good football this from Liverpool, but JD Canvo's in the way.
Do you know what concerns me most about the way the modern game is going? And I know it's quicker, but there was more physical contact in the day when I played in the Premier League. They've got more subs, they've got better facilities, they've got better sports science, got better pitches. I just don't get it. I just do not get why so many clubs are picking up a lot. And we're not talking 2 or 3 injuries, we're talking 8, 9, 10 all in the one hit. It beggars belief, it blows my mind.
Here is Cody Gakpo, left wing, into Wirtz, couldn't control the ball, fizzed into him, disappointing from Florian Wirtz. That's supposed to be his game, picking up the ball in tight spaces. Couldn't bring it down that time. Freddie Woodman finds Virgil van Dijk. Sarr tries to apply pressure. It's over the top carelessly by Robertson. Wharton slides it into Mateta. Mateta finds Sarr in the penalty area looking for Pino. And a rush of blood to the head, took the cross too quickly. And in the end it trickles behind harmlessly.
Better from Palace, good link-up play, little one round the corner from Wharton. But then see, Mateta for me really is, it's an early ball from Sarr, but Pino's got a gamble there for me. He's got to cross Curtis Jones there, and he's got to tap in.
You're a man that watches an awful lot of Palace. What have you made of Jeremy Pino's first season in South London?
I thought he started really well, and without comparing him, I thought you'd look at him in that Cherky mould.
As the Bulls hold that thought, because Gakpo could be in, and it's cleared away by Canvo.
I wouldn't, I'm not saying exactly in terms of the different players in the sense of the, who they're playing for, but he had that, but then he just lost his way a little bit. He was in and out of the team all season, but the crowd seem to like him. It's kind of split 50-50 at the moment. There is a song about him that's popular, but yeah, talented footballer, but maybe just not done enough, Matt.
So Liverpool have a corner kick here after that Canvo block behind. It's going to come in from the left-hand side, and Dominic Szoboszlai is looking for the in-swinger. Van Dijk forward, Canate on the toes of Dean Henderson. In from Szoboszlai, deep towards Gakpo's head. Van Dijk jumps with Henderson, back in from Frimpong. Wharton steers away. At the halfway line waits Curtis Jones. Andy Robertson, what a lovely ball that is from Andy Robertson. Szoboszlai at the byline, Gakpo saved by Henderson, cleared away by Borna Sosa with red shirts arriving. It's a fantastic ball by Andy Robertson, but Palace break the other way, because here comes Sarr. Options left and right, finds Jeremy Pino, back to Sarr, Ismaila Sarr straight into Woodman's hands. He was under heavy duress by Virgil van Dijk as he ran into the 18-yard box. But even so, probably should have looked to put that either side of Freddie Woodman. Instead, it's straight to the goalkeeper's arms.
Yeah, brilliant play, great defending from Van Dijk, just done enough to put him off. Much better from Palace in the last 5 minutes. And he's fallen in as he takes the strike, Matt.
Van Dijk right on the line there. I think what you can get away with. He's being very handsy, very physical, very annoying for forward. But he's just done enough not to push him over and give away a penalty.
He has. Good play, good defending. better from Palace, but showed in the last 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes that they can maybe possibly still get something out of this game. Liverpool have been disappointed, there's no doubt about that.
And Liverpool's only real chances, clear-cut chances, were the 2 goals that they have scored in this game. Crystal Palace have had a litany of half chances, not been able to take any of them. Wirtz loses the ball on the left wing. Another disappointing day for Florian Wirtz. Just as it seemed like he was getting it together, he'd arrived in the Premier League. Really poor today at times. Chris Richards looking down the line to Ismail Assar, up against Alexis McAllister, 10 yards in from the right touchline. Through ball intended for Pino, was cut out by Kanate. And Szoboszlai in the centre circle, puts it behind Frimpong. I'll have to go back and get it, Jeremy Frimpong.
I mean, there's nothing convincing about just their general play. It's been sloppy, they've misplaced passes this afternoon.
At Curtis Jones' feet, just outside his 18-yard box. And Chris Richards has fouled Alexander Isak, so it's going to be a Liverpool free kick, 15 yards shy of the halfway line, just left of centre. I mean, what sort of strategy do you think Liverpool will employ planning into the summer and for next season? Because they tried the spending big, it didn't work, they've alienated a lot of their fans, there's not really what their fans would call Liverpool players in the 11 anymore.
I think they've got to have a total reset for me. I mean, losing Salah, okay, and Robertson, Kirkers will come back in. He'll probably finish the season now as well, but I don't know if Arne Slot is still there, which I presume and imagine he will be. There's got to be a different approach to how they play. It's too slow, laboured, not enough threat in the side. The players haven't gelled, the new signings coming in, and have they got any more money, Matt, to go and splash out? This is the thing.
It'll be a healthy boost to their wage budget, perhaps not their transfer budget, as Frimpong intercepts the ball by JD Canvo out from the back. Frimpong left-footed shot, deflects up to Cody Gakpo at the byline, left-hand side of the penalty area, rolls back to the edge of the 18-yard box. Andy Robertson and Cody Gakpo running at Munoz, twisting in field. McAllister goes to the left for Robertson again. Gakpo at the byline. Chris Richards in his way. And Lacroix looks forward to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Mateta. Now Sarr. Up to the halfway line. Slown down. Liverpool regain their shape well.
I thought we might have seen Stan Larsen by now for Mateta.
And Crystal Palace, if they didn't look distracted in the first half, this is a group of players now that look like their minds may be elsewhere, and Liverpool have been able to control the second 45 all too easily. Wirtz, beautiful football, scooped forward to Szoboszlai, Frimpong out wide to the right. Szoboszlai continues to carry in field, it's behind Alexander Isak, he goes back to get it. McAllister and Robertson joining in. Andy Robertson shipped forward to Gakpo. It was all too cute and clever in the end. You had both Szoboszlai and Isak, probably two of the best strikers of the ball in the league, waiting at the edge of the 18-yard box, and they chose to flick it forward over the top.
And not enough width, too narrow.
Frimpong providing some width on the right with his boots on the touchline. 20 yards from the corner flag. Borna Sosa's brought him down. It's going to be a Liverpool free kick. Another chance to take a break in play. 68 minutes gone. Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0. Matt Drabble, Eddie McGoldrick on Premier League Live. Elsewhere in the top flight, West Ham 1, Everton 0. That's the big story. Wolves 0, Tottenham 0 as well. So West Ham with a chance to open up, if things end the way they are currently going, a 4-point gap on Spurs below them. That was a big goal by Thomas Souček in a big old scrap for relegation, the best in recent memory. We'll give you every kick of it right here on Premier League Live between now and the end of the season. Here at Anfield, Liverpool free kick, Dominic Szoboszlai to take an outswinger from the right, 17 yards from the corner flag, swept in, free header for Florian Wirtz, doesn't make the most of it, sends it straight to Kamada. Pino to Wharton, Szoboszlai picks his pocket, poor second half for Adam Wharton, and the Hungarian brings it away left of centre. Wirtz in support, rolled along the face of goal.
No
Chris Richards behind, and it should be a goal kick. It absolutely should be. Which way is the referee giving it?
No conviction. Poor from Wharton, gets turned over in the middle of the park. Great break from Soberslide. He's just not enough conviction from Florian Wirtz there. No confidence to get it on his left foot and lash that across the 6-yard box. Hoping for a deflection, maybe in. Yeah, poor.
Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta is going to make way. It's Strand Larsen back in, and I think Oliver Glasner has laid his cards out on the table that regardless of Mateta's fallout with the club, very noisy, very ugly, he is the preferred number 9.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Mateta saved for the Conference League semi-final, Strand Larsen to finish this one out, and Jørgen Strand Larsen not had the best start at Crystal Palace, has struggled to find his feet in the way he did last season at Wolves. Even the first half of the campaign at Wolves wasn't exactly glittering for Jørgen Strand Larsen, and Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is almost certainly, if not definitely, off at the end of the season, has run his race here at Anfield.
Yeah, a lot of money for a player that hadn't scored a lot of goals.
Here is Maxence Lacroix. To his right is Richards. Up the line to Daniel Munoz. If Adam Wharton plays 90 minutes, that will be controversial among Palace fans. He's on course for that at the moment.
I'm surprised, Matt, that he's still on the pitch. He's had a poor second half. I thought he dominated the ball, dictated the play in the first half. But by his own standards, he's been poor.
Borna Sosa, neat 1-2 with Pino. Looks to cross, good delivery towards the back post. Robertson heads it away before it could reach Daniel Munoz, and good dribbling from Cody Gakpo will get Liverpool flying forward, and Florian Wirtz is off to the races, but Dean Henderson could come out and clear it away towards Jørgen Strand Larsen. Pino in possession, dead centre, running at the Liverpool back line, looks for Strand Larsen, will find Sarr, brilliant save Woodman again, he's managed to keep it out. Struggling to get back to his feet, he's in all sorts of pain. Palace have put the ball in the back of the net, and surely that will have to count. It's cruel, it's unfair, but it has to count. They were under no obligation to put it out of play, Crystal Palace. My. This is a rarity in the Premier League. This could be controversial. Arne Slot is incensed.
What's he moaning about?
Palace have to put that in the back of the net. It's not a head injury. Woodman's down on the deck. It is a strange situation. So Crystal Palace, slider through ball to Ismaila Sarr, well left by Jørgen Strand Larsen. Sarr forces a brilliant save from Woodman, whose knee jars horribly at the edge of the 6-yard box. Munoz picks up the loose ball and curls it into the empty net. It's no doubt this is a horrible injury for Woodman. His knee is jarred as he drags his studs into the floor, and Munoz curls it over the top of the injured goalkeeper, with the Liverpool defenders statuesque and into the back of the net.
I think he's got to, Matt. If he stays on the floor, Freddie Woodman, but he's attempted to get up 2 or 3 times.
Well, Arne Slot is
be given a
furious,
goal.
but it has to be given. I've only seen one situation to this similar, and it was down in the EFL, and the expectation was, at the next kick-off, that Palace stood still and allowed Liverpool to roll it in the back of the net. I cannot see that happening here.
And I don't see why it should. Perfectly within his rights just to drop that over Van Dijk's head into the net. Like you said, Matt, it wasn't a head injury, and I think the mere fact that he's tried to get up 2 or 3 times as the ball's been played back out and pinballed about that edge of the box, the referee's looked at it and gone, well, is he as badly injured as he thought? But again, the rules state, unless it's a head injury, the referee does not have to stop the game.
And there's 2 parts to this. I can absolutely understand Liverpool's frustrations. You 100% get that they're frustrated. It's cruel, it feels unfair, but ultimately there is nothing anyone could do. All this is a really unfortunate sequence of events. Freddie Woodman injures his knee, what looks to be quite seriously, making a brilliant save. The loose ball falls to Munoz. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds before Munoz then scoops the ball into the back of the net while Freddie Woodman is trying to get back to his feet. Munoz has to play on.
Has to. And not one of those 6 players, certainly Van Dijk, the right full-back Curtis Jones, Kanate, have dropped back onto the line to try and cover their goalkeeper, Matt.
Well, we can hear Arne Slot. His voice is so loud, we can hear him, and he's shouting across the technical area, Ollie, you don't do that. Ollie, you don't do that. in regards to Ollie Glasner, as in you don't put the ball in the back of the net while someone's down. Meanwhile,
Rubbish.
one of the most fascinating parts of this is Liverpool are down to their 4th choice goalkeeper perhaps in this game, but now Woodman seems to be up and moving.
Yeah, I'm not having that. I'm not having that from Slot. I mean, what can Oliver Glasner do? What is he going to turn around and say, OK, go through and score, or we're not going to shoot? Totally rubbish that. I'm not having that. It's poor from Arne Slot.
Well, Liverpool's 4th choice keeper, Armin Pesci, is stripped off on the bench, but now he's been told to put his cover or overtop back on. So I said I'd seen this once before, and it was slightly more egregious in that circumstance. And the team that scored the goal were expected to let Liverpool walk it in. I don't think Palace will do that here, and it doesn't look like they are set to do it.
And no reason why they should either, Matt.
Cries of cheat from Anfield, boos ringing around, but it is nothing more than an unfortunate sequence of events and a fortunate Palace goal. Munoz has just had the ball thrown at the back of his head by Liverpool fans, returning it back into the game. And Liverpool fans are giving him a right old torrid time, calling him a cheat. He's being greeted with shrill whistles, boos, objects thrown from the Liverpool fans. They are incensed. I have to say, I feel sorry for Daniel Munoz there as much as anything.
I mean, that just... The entitlement that football fans show nowadays is incredible. Never mind the players.
Well, this second half, the one thing you will say it's done is it's given us some much needed spice and injection to a second half, which was
made it better, Matt, that's for sure. Palace back in this now.
Second half that was fading into pretty much insignificance, being played out like a training game, has now got a real bite and edge to it.
If Palace get a second, this place will erupt.
Wide to the left it goes to Pino, overlapping is Borna Sosa. Freddie Woodman, by the way, has stayed in net. He's tried to carry on. Here's Yeremy Pino, 25 yards out, and he lashes it over the top. Well, you said if Palace scored, what would happen to this place? They could have done there. Yeremy Pino, 25 yards out, dead centre. The man you'd want to shoot from distance, the creative number 10.
He's gone for power. I thought he was just going to whip it round Van Dijk into that bottom corner with a bit of swaz. Better play from Sosa, but Palace right back in this game now. Certainly unsettled Liverpool, that decision.
And I tell you what, Borna Sosa, at times the forgotten man this season for Crystal Palace, the player that was brought in the summer to very little fanfare, has done very well since coming on for me. He created some good chances up that left-hand side, giving them some more energy and impetus. Here's Munoz.
And can I just say, Matt, the goalkeeper now has just launched the ball 75, 80 yards with the right foot of his injured leg. So don't tell me that he wasn't fit enough to play. Carry on.
Munoz was on the right wing when he lifted that left-footed delivery over the top of Woodman, and it landed in the bottom left corner. We were so caught up in the incident, perhaps didn't paint the full picture of the quality of the finish from Munoz, in fairness. About 25 yards from goal, right of centre, left-footed, clipped ball, lobbed over the top of the keeper on the ground, over the top of the Liverpool back line, into the bottom left corner. More boos as there's a free kick that's gone Crystal Palace's way.
Do you know what, for me, Matt, I think the frustration now, certainly what the fans are showing towards Crystal Palace and the referee, should be directed at their own players, because they've been the biggest frustration today for them, I think.
So Alexander Isak is going to make way for Liverpool. Steps off the pitch after scoring his first goal since December. A welcome one for Isak, tucking it home past Dean Henderson. And am I being too cruel to say, despite that, I really don't feel like it's given me an enormous amount of confidence in his role in Liverpool still, despite the goal.
Yeah, I think there's a long way to go for Alexander Isak. He doesn't look physically fit. It looks like he's still carrying some scars from that break, and naturally it is going to take him a lot longer to get back to where he was. But yeah, the whole thing about it is his transfer is not worked out for him. It's been disappointing.
Forward from Dean Henderson, over the top toward the halfway line. Isak makes way after his third Premier League goal of the season. Back to the arms of Henderson. Elsewhere in the Premier League, still West Ham 1, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Tottenham 0. It is a relegation battle that you cannot take your eyes or your ears off in the case of Premier League Live, and as I mentioned, every minute of every Premier League game brought to you by the team here from the beginning of the season to the all-important run-in. At the moment, Liverpool struggling to cling on to this 2-1 advantage over Crystal Palace. And Palace on the ball with JD Canvo, the left-sided centre-back, carries up to halfway, then fizzes the ball forward to the feet of Ismail Assar. It was his effort that Woodman saved and jarred his knee in doing so. Back to Borna Sosa, given away to Florian Wirtz, trying to turn around Canvo and find Szoboszlai. Gakpo darts forward now as a number 9. Looking in behind, Dean Henderson saves all too easily.
What I will say, Matt, is that the Colombian in Munoz is certainly no Paolo Di Canio. Going back all those years to Goodison Park.
Yes. Gravenberch was the man that came on for Alexander Isak playing midfield. That shunted Cody Gakpo into the number 9 role to end this game. Borna Sosa looking forward, not a good ball. Sliding in is Kamada. Challenge well won, has been given as a free kick. And Palace take their turn to be frustrated. There didn't seem a great deal in that.
Yeah, soft. Not a great decision from the referee.
Who, Andy Madley, I think, has had a brilliant game today overall. He's barely got a thing wrong, but that time Kamada looked to have got a hefty chunk of the ball before he caught Gakpo, and the decision goes Liverpool's way.
Yeah, just not enough energy in the game now. It's petering out, isn't it?
Palace
hanging on.
Obliged to be the team that injects that energy as they search for the equaliser. A reminder that Palace do have something at stake today. No one in the history of football has ever beaten Liverpool 4 times in a season. It's never happened. Palace can do that today. They've done the double over Liverpool twice. They're looking for their 3rd here. They could beat Liverpool twice at Anfield as well. That's a rarity amongst teams in the history of football to boot.
Yeah.
Backwards to the feet of Woodman, over the top, straight through to Dean Henderson. Groans from the Liverpool fans. They have not done enough to say they deserve to walk away with here with 3 points today, for me.
Totally agree.
As it stands.
Yeah, totally agree. They've been poor, Liverpool. And rather fortuitous to be 2 goals ahead at the break.
Canvo dribbling out from his own 18-yard box. Acres of space to turn into and release Yeremy Pino. Left of centre, the ball forces him wide. Left edge of the penalty area, looking for a pass in field. He slows things down and the chance is gone for Crystal Palace. Offside anyway. Well, Yeremy Pino just had to attack that back line with a bit more cut and thrust. And when he slowed down, the chance died.
Yeah. I mean, put your flag up straight away. I don't get it. He's just got to hold his run there. Deliberate ploy from Liverpool, just holding their line.
It's a Liverpool free kick taken by the right-sided centre-back Konate. A second half of very little event has seen one big talking point, and that came with the goal for Daniel Munoz. Wirtz nods infield to McAllister. Fired away and over the top by Canvo, all the way through to Woodman. And we said the first half was high in 2 things, both quality and energy. In the same way, in exactly the same way, the second half has lacked in both. It's lacked in the energy, that's taken a step down, but also the quality as well. As we've just seen there, the amount of times the ball has gone all the way over the top from goalkeeper to goalkeeper, it's happened again.
Yeah, it's been a lack of real quality in the game.
Wharton wins it back high for Crystal Palace on halfway, and in behind goes Strand Larsen off the post, rolls along the goal line and does not cross, but the offside flag up again after a Crystal Palace clear-cut chance.
Wow, this game is still in the balance. Is he offside? Wharton turns over, Szoboszlai. Yeah, he's just gone too early again. It's criminal. He's away if he holds his line. Should score. And how's that not gone in?
Well, Jorgen Strand Larsen could not have come much closer. Breaking into the penalty area, a right-footed shot, hit both posts and bounced behind. Now we've got a Palace corner kick towards Lacroix. How can that be offside and a corner kick?
I was just going to say, how was it a corner kick if it was offside? Oh my God.
The linesman flags went up, the referee blew, gave the offside, Liverpool lined up for a free kick. We turn our eyes to the monitors to see the chance again, and Palace are taking a corner kick. See, the referee Andy Manley must have overruled this linesman there.
So that's a huge chance. Huge chance for Strand Larsen. Got to do better.
It's not been a happy time for Strand Larsen at Crystal Palace this season. Started okay. 3 goals in his first 4. No goals in 8 now for club and country for Jurgen Strand Larsen. Sorry, 4 goals in his first 7, that is.
Well, I think in terms of chances created overall in this match, they certainly deserve something out of it, Matt.
He struck from the right-hand side of the penalty area, hit the inside of the left post, rolled along the goal line, hit the right post and went out. Crazy how close it was to a leveller. 85 minutes on the clock, Liverpool 2, Palace 1. There is another big goal in the battle for relegation. We'll bring you news because someone has scored at Molineux, where Jackson Cole is watching for us. When we get the chance, we'll cut across to it. This game also on a knife edge here, though. Soberslai seemed to be caught by Daniel Munoz. Free kick goes Liverpool's way on the left edge of the penalty area. And Virgil van Dijk.
So I don't like that. Liverpool players trying to get him sent off now because he's already been booked in the first half. He's got to challenge that. Is there much connection there, much contact? I don't think so.
Yeah, Daniel Munoz booked very early on in this game, just 19 minutes in. Liverpool have a free kick in a position of some promise, and they could do with putting this game to bed, the Reds. Palace have been hanging around and created the better of the chances. So Dominic Szoboszlai, who's just about the best dead ball specialists in the Premier League, is taking it from a tight angle, about 16 yards from the byline, 4 yards out from the left edge of Palace's area. Angled tight, but if anyone could squeeze it in, it might perhaps be the Hungarian Dominic Szoboszlai. Looks like it's set to be a cross. Henderson bounces on his goal line. Left arm in the air from Szoboszlai. It is a shot cross, and it hits Alexis McAllister and bounces behind off his ribcage. I was meant to say cross come shot. In the end, it's all just going to end in a Palace goal kick, which gives us the chance to go across to Molineux, where there's been a goal. Here's Jackson Cole.
There's a whole group of them on the edge, or near enough the edge of the box. The corner now comes in. It's Richarlison. He'll take a shot, and it's turned in. It's João Palhinha. Well, on a day where Spurs need to win, they are winning with just over 8 minutes to go.
There you have it. Jackson Cole reminding us that João Palhinha has put Tottenham Hotspur 1-up away from home. That could be absolutely massive for Tottenham Hotspur and their quest for survival, and they may have had even more help because there's been another goal at the London Stadium. West Ham United did take the lead through Thomas Souček, but we understand that Everton have drawn level through Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. When we get the chance, we will go across to John Howitt to bring you news of that. Here, of course, Liverpool still leading by just the goal, 2-1 over Crystal Palace. Canvo tries to dribble out from the back. How foolish was that? But Frimpong can't take advantage.
Awful.
Kirkes takes over left of centre. He's just come on while we were going across to Molineux. Gomez and Kirkes for Jones and Robertson, the 2 substitutions. It's all going on in the Premier League.
Certainly is.
Virgil van Dijk behind halfway. Will Strand Larsen live to rue that missed chance? Certainly seems that way at the moment. Munoz leaping with Dominic Szoboszlai. Nibbling at his heels is the Colombian.
He's done that a couple of times today. He's just done exactly there to Munoz what he did to Adam Wharton in the first half. Turns his back, not looking at the ball. That's a foul.
Gakpo trying to race free up the right. It's going to be a Liverpool throw, left-hand side. Going to slow it down for Kirkes to take. That gives us the chance to go across to the London Stadium and John Howick.
Lays it off on the overlap for Mikalenko. His cross into the box, climbing well. Tarkowski, Dewsbury Hall smashes it home, and Everton have an equaliser, and it's a hammer blow for West Ham.
It's a 4-point swing in the relegation battle now. The Premier League table reads Tottenham in 17th on 34 points, and West Ham drop into the relegation zone, 18th, level on points with Spurs, but having scored 7 less goals. So a massive swing there from Tottenham scoring at Molineux to Everton equalising at the London Stadium. It was all going West Ham's way. Now it is all going against the Hammers. They need to find another goal from somewhere, or hope from a favour from Wolves, or a bit of both perhaps. We'll keep our eyes across those two games. Sarr fouled by Gravenberch. Szoboszlai smashes the ball away. Not sure why he's done that, Dominic Szoboszlai. He's going to get a yellow card. And Gravenberch seems to have escaped booking himself. Ismaila Sarr growing into the second half. Careless foul by Gravenberch, and an even stupider decision by Szoboszlai to fire that into Rosie.
Yeah, it's been a strange one this afternoon. Let's look at some of the body language of the Liverpool players, Matt. Certainly Gravenberch there in that scenario. Looks like there's a real disconnect. I'm not saying there's a disconnect with the manager in any shape or form, but in just terms of their confidence, the way they want to play.
On the left-hand side, Yeremy Pino. Palace released, cross low and hard. Van Dijk away. And Crystal Palace will have a chance. It's going to be 7 added minutes at the end of this one. That is due to Freddie Woodman's injury midway through the half. So it's going to be Yeremy Pino to take on the left-hand side. Crystal Palace players trot forwards. Pino lines up this corner kick for Crystal Palace. It's going to be an in-swinger. The 6-yard box crowded by the away side. Liverpool set to defend. In from Yeremy Pino. Strand Larsen's flick on. Wirtz will try and hook away. Wharton trying to keep it alive. Liverpool looking to break with Ryan Gravenberch. Down the line, Florian Wirtz, and Liverpool have numbers here. Wirtz up the left wing. Frimpong outside of him. 2 red shirts in the middle. Frimpong. Can he find the cross? Instead it's a shot and it blazes behind. Now we don't mind telling you, today is one of those funny old days in the Premier League where the monitors down in front of us are perhaps carrying more drama than the game that we are watching. And while we are trying to describe this game for you, it is all going on around the league. West Ham United have scored again just after being pegged back by Dewsbury Hall. Jared Bowen has teed up Callum Wilson to fire in from the edge of the 6-yard box. We'll try and go to John Howitt when we get the chance, but my word, it's your eyes are having to be in 5 places at once at the moment.
Incredible scenes, limbs there as well at the London Stadium.
Gakpo's fouled Munoz at the edge of the 18-yard box. It's hotting up here. It's just that time of year in the Premier League where the temperature goes up another 5 or 6 degrees. Everything seems to matter that little bit more. Liverpool clinging on to the Champions League places. West Ham United fighting tooth and nail for survival. Tottenham trying to stop the rot. And we're unpacking it all here on this April afternoon. Borna Sosa has just gone careering through Jeremy Frimpong. But let's go now to the big story, the big goal. John Howitt brings you news of West Ham 2, Everton 1.
Skips away from Mikalenko, sends in the cross, headed clear by Keane at the near post. Now drops out to Carl Walker-Peters, square to Malik Diouf. Diouf sends in the cross, deep towards the far post. Wilson steers it in. Callum Wilson once again, the nemesis of Everton Football Club.
Callum Wilson scored there to make it 2-1 to West Ham United. John Howitt's vocal cords working harder than any of us so far this afternoon, and while we were bringing you that, Crystal Palace almost had a chance in the penalty area for Yeremy Pino. Chris Richards has got a long throw, 12 yards from the corner flag on the right, near post it goes. Milos Kerkez up in the air, volleyed back in by Munoz. Canvo sends Kamada scrambling backwards towards his own goal. Chris Richards. Munoz met by Booz again. Wharton on halfway. Thought about dinking it in behind for Jorgen Strand Larsen, but Kamada's on it. Left of centre. Now at the feet of Maxence Lacroix. Right back Richards, or rather right-sided centre-back Richards. Palace are in a long spell of possession here, dangling the ball around Liverpool, baiting them to come out and close them down, waiting for a chance to open itself up. Sarr, wrong side of Joe Gomez. Gomez defends well initially and then clears away down the line.
Yeah, I think they've been the team that's offered more threat, certainly in this second phase of the second half, Matt.
Can they go on and find an equaliser, Crystal Palace? You mentioned it ahead of kickoff. Their own European dreams, perhaps not dead and buried, of qualifying through the league for the Conference League with how open it is.
Yeah, I think so, and that's the point I was trying to make for the game. Still up for grabs for them. They can get another 5 or 6 points. It propels them into the top 10. Potentially.
JD Canvo clears away from Florian Wirtz, so Liverpool will have a throw on the right. Amazed that Adam Wharton is still out there on the pitch for Crystal Palace, but that he is.
I just watched his recovery run there when he got fouled. He's got up and he's run past about 4 or 5 Palace players, so obviously feeling no ill effects from that injury he picked up.
Florian Wirtz to take the throw on the right wing. Instead he'll hand it off to Joe Gomez, 17 yards from the corner flag. Time ticking away, 2 minutes left of stoppage time here. Still Liverpool 2, Palace 1. Liverpool bleeding some precious seconds off the clock. Teed up to Florian Wirtz! The throw was into McAllister. He sent it off to Wirtz, and Wirtz has lashed it into the corner, off the post and in. Well, he's sealed the points for Liverpool. He might just have sealed the Champions League for Liverpool, and a fine finish restores Liverpool's 2-goal lead.
Yeah, brilliant finish from the young German. I mean, he hasn't stopped going. He's not had a great game, as have Liverpool, but he's not stopped. He's worked hard and he's got his reward. What a finish. Poor defending. They've got to screen off that front phase. Thrown into McAllister. He just spins off Kamada and lashes it in off the post. Great finish. Plenty of confidence.
A pinpoint half volley from Florian Wirtz. The throw was taken long by Joe Gomez. McAllister, leaning back, just teed up Florian Wirtz to wrap his boot through it. He struck across the ball on his laces with all the spin required to kiss the post in the top left corner of Dean Henderson's goal and carry it into the back of the net. It's a sweet finish by a player that hasn't had a particularly good game in truth today, and it surely wrapped this one up for Liverpool.
Disappointing for me. I'm just looking at it again, Matt. It's got to be screened off. That ball has got to be screened off into McAllister. It wasn't, and he's just spun off Kamada, lashed it home.
30 seconds left in stoppage time. Liverpool surely clinching it here, and a win that will take them up to 4th in the table, 8 points clear of Brighton and Hove Albion in 6th, who are looking to catch up with them and Villa in the race for the Champions League. It should be enough at this late stage. Chris Richards crosses in towards Jeremy Pino, up in the air. Pino tries to collect ahead of McAllister. Liverpool clear their lines and clear long, and the controversy of midway through this half feels a long time ago now. Liverpool fans can go home happy. Andy Madley checks his watch. Still we play on. Kamada forward, lofted into the channel. Borna Sosa chasing. Frimpong trying to see it out, and it trickles between Borna Sosa's legs. It's going to be a Liverpool throw by their own corner flag, right hand side.
Yeah, I think what it showed, still frailties there.
Well, the full-time whistle goes. Liverpool have got the job done. Arne Slot's side winning 3-1 against Crystal Palace here at home. The scoring got started in the first half with Alexander Isak bouncing it over Dean Henderson in. Andy Robertson made it 2. 5 minutes later, Florian Wirtz added a third, cancelling out Daniel Munoz's controversial goal for Crystal Palace. But right now, we go live to West Ham, where John Howe covers the final few minutes for us.
Pickford sends it long. Heads go up, Tarkowski across goal. Hermansen comes, climbs and gathers and falls to the ground. The West Ham players celebrate. There might still be 30 seconds left. He's thrown the ball out quickly to release Carl Walker-Peters on the counter. He heads towards the corner flag. Can't be dispossessed by Irabunum. And there goes the full-time whistle.
Full-time whistle at West Ham. So let's go to Molineux and Jackson Cole.
West Ham have beaten Everton by 2-1, so no matter what happens at Molineux, Tottenham will still be in the relegation zone at the end of play. But if Wolves were to score here, then it would be a crisis for Spurs. It's a free kick taken, and it's parried away by Kinski. It was João Gomez who curled the ball with his right foot, and the ball was heading for the top right-hand corner of goal. But brilliant play from the Czech goalkeeper. Will there be enough time for this corner to be taken? It's coming in now. Headed away by Mickey van der Ven. And there is the end of the game. For the first time since December the 28th, Tottenham Hotspur have won in the Premier League.
Tottenham Hotspur get their win against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Liverpool got their win here against Crystal Palace. There's plenty of time to talk about that relegation battle when we go around the grounds, but just briefly on Liverpool and Crystal Palace. Liverpool get the job done despite very much not being at their best. Do you see that as a positive, or do you see that as this team actually has a lot more work to do than we thought?
Well, it's certainly a positive, 3 points, and it cements, you know, their position in fourth place, but I think it covers over a multitude of cracks in this Liverpool squad. I think defensively they're poor. It's aging, apart from the two, and I get why they've brought in Frimpong and Kirkus. They're young, but for me, they're not Liverpool standard. And there's frailties through that middle. They're conceding chances. And Palace, on a better day, if they'd have been at it, their front three could have got 3 or 4 today. And that would be a concern for me, conceding that amount of chances again. And no disrespect, when they come up, what they want to be competing for, Liverpool, at the higher end of the Premier League and the Champions League, they're going to come up against better front threes than Palace's, and yet they're still conceding those chances, so it would be a concern, Matt.
And a word very quickly on Freddie Woodman, because it was a story for a lot of people coming into today. I count at least 3 or 4 really brilliant saves from him. Okay, that was that awkward moment with Munoz, but a good day all round for a full debutant.
Yeah, delighted for the young goalkeeper. Brilliant, we said that. What's he going to need to do to give him that confidence, and his back four in front of him that confidence, and he made that save low down to his left, although Mateta should have done better, and then he just grew from there. 3 or 4 really, really good saves that'll give him that confidence now, and it looked like he's going to get more good game time in the first team.
Well, we had to race across to West Ham, so I didn't get too much of a chance to sum this one up for you, but the goal scorers for Liverpool, Isak, Robertson and Florian Wirtz adding the 3rd and the 96th minute. That cancelled out Daniel Munoz's controversial strike in the 71st. What a win for Liverpool. Crystal Palace falls short. So much to unpack from this game and the rest of our 3 o'clock kickoffs, including that all-important relegation dogfight between Tottenham and West Ham. When we come back, it's time to go around the grounds. You're listening to Premier League Live.